Today we're going to be making another family favorite, crack chicken. And crack chicken, it's a pretty simple recipe. You just put in some boneless, skinless chicken breasts in the crock pot, and then you put in some cream cheese, and you put in some ranch dressing. Now the whole thing with crack chicken is it's supposed to be so good it's addictive. And it's a family favorite, and if you need to make things in the crock pot, so simple to make. But I like to add just a little bit extra stuff to it. So instead of using fresh bacon, put in a pound of fresh bacon, get it all greasy, I'll put in some of this real crumbled bacon. This is supposedly 5 pounds of bacon, and it's all rendered down already, real bacon. So I don't have to make that mess of making the bacon, having it splash everywhere. And then when I put the bacon in, it usually gets all like soggy. This is already crisped up, and I put this in at the end, and it stays nice and crisp. So I already put in the crock pot, I put in the chicken and some ranch seasoning. So like if you're just gonna make this for regular sized dinner, you might put in 4 boneless chicken breasts and 1 packet of ranch seasoning. And then you put in two packs of cream cheese, and you just start with that. You put it on low, and you let it sit for 7 hours like that. Then at the very end, you throw in some cheddar cheese, and you throw in some bacon bits, and you throw in some green onions. But what I like to do to kick it up a bit is I'm going to put in some of this zesty horseradish mustard. I'm going to put in some of this hell of a good bacon horseradish chip dip, and then I add a little white ground pepper to it also. And I'm going to put in the white tips of the onion, of the green onions, into here to cook it for the 7 hours. What's in the pot already is I put in 1 Vidalia onion. I chopped it up real small. I put in the chicken, and then I put in the ranch seasoning. That's what's in the pot. It's been cooking for a couple hours, but it's going to be 7 hours, so it's not a big deal. So now all I'm going to do is I'm going to add the cream cheese and the mustard and the chip dip and the white tips of the green onion. Okay, I added a feta cheese, 2 packs of cream cheese, this hell of a good bacon horseradish dip, the ranch dressing, the zesty mustard, the chicken, and the onions. Not the green tips of the onions, but the white tips, and a Vidalia onion. Now I'm just going to cover this up. Okay, it's been 7 hours on low in the crock pot. Oh, this is looking good. I'm going to put this over here. Alright, so now all we have, look how nice and creamy the sauce is here. That's good, that's good. We want to shred this chicken. We want to just pull it apart, and that's pretty easy. So we're just going to go through here, and we're going to shred all this chicken. And since it's coming apart good, I'm going to put it on warm, keep warm, instead of low, because the cooking part's done. We're just going to add bacon bits and cheese, and I'm going to test this. Test this. Let me see. Let's stir it around. I'm going to shred all this chicken, pull it apart. Let me see what we got here. See how the sauce is. See if we need to add anything. Oh man, that is delicious. But add some black pepper to it. Doesn't need any salt. And I remember I added white pepper earlier. About a tablespoon of white pepper. And you can see I'm adding this fresh, cracked black pepper. And that's all it needs. The flavor is incredible. I'm not getting any salt to it, even if I thought it wasn't salty, which I think it's fine with the salt. I'm going to still be adding this crumbled bacon and this cheddar cheese to it, and that's just going to be more salt flavor. So there, I add all, look at all, I add all this black pepper and then I'll stir that up. And that's perfect. I just want to show you, it's a little easier sometimes. You take the chicken out, you look for big chunks of chicken. You see you got big chunks of chicken, and you put it on the plate, and then you can shred it up, make sure it looks nice and shredded like this. Look how nice and shredded that is. And then once you shred it, you throw it back in the pot. So I just go through here, and I take out big chunks of chicken, and then I shred them up, and then I go ahead and just put them right back in the pot. It can be easier than working inside there. So you just go through here, keep stirring it. You say, oh, here's a big chunk of chicken. Put it on the plate. Here's a big chunk of chicken. Put it on the plate. Anything is bigger than you want it to be, you just go ahead and grab it, put it on a plate, and you shred it up with your forks, and you slide it right back into the sauce. You can see how nice and creamy this is. So I showed you everything I put in here and how I did it. You want to shred the chicken before you put the cheddar cheese in, because when you put the cheddar cheese in, it's going to be a lot more difficult to take the chicken out. Okay, we have our chicken all shredded up. Now I'm going to be adding my bacon. I only got this much in this one, but I have another bag. And the great thing about getting this kind of bag chicken and the cheese is you can just you can put some in a bowl. If someone who's eating it wants to add more bacon, they can go ahead and add more bacon to it. Now this is getting ready. All we want to do is put this in here, and then we want the cheese to melt and be all gooey. So like I said, and I put that feta cheese in earlier. That feta cheese was really good. I mean, the flavor of this is incredible. I would actually recommend adding Mediterranean style feta cheese to your cracked chicken in the future. This is just a little bit of mozzarella cheese. I had it left over, so I just want to get rid of it. You can add any kind of cheese you want that suits your flavors. I usually like to add something like a pepper jack cheese. Oh, I love it. Shredded pepper jack. You can add, if you want to spice it up even more, there's Cabot has a habanero sharp cheddar cheese. You could shred that up and put it in there. So I just added all this cheese to it. I stir that up, and this is just on warm. And I'm just gonna let it sit there, and you're gonna see that it just, look how nice and thick this is already. And like if I was making this for a Super Bowl party, I would definitely be adding fresh minced jalapenos to this, and it's just that's crack right there. This is almost crack. Now the original recipe, some people think it's a little bit bland with just the ranch seasoning and the chicken and the cream cheese, and then you just add the cheddar cheese and the bacon. Some people are like, oh, that's a little bland. But I tell you, you add a little zip with that fresh ground mustard, whether it's Zatarain's Creole mustard, which is awesome, or whether it's this horseradish mustard, and then you cream it up. You could add a French onion dip to it, or like I use that bacon horseradish dip because that's what I like. And it makes it nice and creamy like that with that cream cheese. And then, you know, you add cheddar, but you could add any kind of cheese you want to put in here to give it that extra kick. And this is it. The only thing I'm going to do is I'm going to cook up some rice, and we're going to have this over rice. And just before I serve it, we're going to throw some spinach in here and let that, I don't want the spinach to be too melted, so I want to wait just before we serve it. This is hot enough. I throw the spinach in, and it'll start to break apart right there, and it'll taste really good. And here we go. This right here is crack chicken. Delicious. let's take a look at this. All right, final thing we're gonna do is we're just gonna put in our spinach. So we're just gonna fold it right in there. And then this looks perfect. If you wanted to make it creamier, you could add some whole milk or some half and half, but this is perfect. We're just gonna serve it over some rice and bread. You can serve it with tortilla chips if you wanted. So we're just gonna put this in here, and you can see right away the heat from the cracked chicken is going to render down the spinach really quickly. So that's why I want to save it for last, because we don't want this to get too mushy. We want it nice and fresh when we eat it still. So there you go. We just add all this spinach, and then this is ready to serve and eat for dinner. Yeah, you can see the spinach is just starting to get all nice and soft. That whole thing of spinach really shrinks down fast. Yeah, you see, this is what we're looking for right there. We want the spinach to look like that. And now this is ready to serve. Here we go. We're just gonna throw some rice on the plate. We got some nice fresh steamed rice here. You know where the forks are? Get yourself a fork.
Yeah, I know what the fuck.
And then you want a piece of bread, right?
Yeah.
Throw a piece of bread over here. And we throw some green onions on top.
Yeah.
So you could serve this. You could serve this with rice, bread, or corn chip tortillas. Go ahead and take a bite of that and tell me how it is. You want a piece of bread?
Yeah.
Good. Oh, okay.
Really hot.
Is it delicious? Is it good cracked chicken?
Oh, it's delicious. Best chicken I've ever eaten in my entire life.
You get a fork?
Yep.
Alright, go ahead. Take a bite. Tell me how it is.
It's Crack-A-Lak'n.
Alright. Good job, buddy. So there you have it. Cracked chicken.